While you do this mixed practice, you should definitely have up the PowerPoint slides from the alkanes, the 6 more functional groups. That will help you do this. But what you are doing is you're going to identify what type they are, and then you're going to circle the part that is the identifier. So I'm not asking you to name these. I'm not asking you to draw them. I'm actually asking you to evaluate them. So for example, I can see that this one ends in O-N-E. I know that ketones end in O-N-E. So this is a ketone, and I circled the identifier. Here, I know that Al is the ending for aldehyde. So I'm going to circle the identifier, which is that part, and then I'm going to write what type it is. On these ones where it's like a picture, I can see that I have this here where it's an R, which is, again, any length of carbon chain, bonded to an oxygen, bonded to another R, so again, any other length of carbon chain. So that format where it's carbon chain, carbon chain, is an ether. So again, I'm circling the part that makes it an ether, and then I'm telling you it's an ether. Again, just identifying. So here, actually I need the whole thing. I can see that I have a double bonded oxygen, so that rules out alcohol and ether, but it still leaves me with those 4 other ones, ketone, aldehyde, ester, and carboxylic acid. So now I need to look at the carbon chain. So it's just carbon chain. If there were another like oxygen with an R, that would be an ester. If there were an oxygen with a hydrogen, that would be a carboxylic acid. Since there's not, I know it's either a ketone or an aldehyde. And if you remember the difference between a ketone and an aldehyde is on the very last or the very first, like this double bonded oxygen would be on the very last or the very first carbon. And since it's not, since it's on a middle carbon, that is a ketone. So that's how you're going to go through and evaluate each of these. You might sometimes be circling the entire molecule. You might sometimes be circling part of it. If it's a name, you should always be circling really the ending, because the ending, the very last part of the name, is going to tell you what type it is. Telling what type it is from a name should be easier and quicker than telling you what type it is from a picture. But you need to have up your alkanes, at least the slides, the 6 more functional group slides, to help you through this, unless you've already like memorized those. But if you haven't memorized those, have them up and then go through those slides and compare each molecule to each of the slides to help you determine what they are.